nobody forces you to coach. Nobody
Right.
nobody came to me and said, "Hey, you got to coach youth sports because we're going to pay you nothing and you're going to give up all your weekends with your wife." Nobody made. So if you've made that decision, you now have an obligation to give them 110% because
Absolutely.
you have that much of an influence in these young men and women's lives.
Yep.
And
I agree with you.
if you aren't doing that, it's an injustice and it's not fair to them.
I
And the
believe
one
it.
thing that I can say, you know, is I gave 110% from when I took over this team in 6th grade. My son was on another team within Skill Center in 6th grade is when we go to 2 teams, Preston. So we'll have
Yep.
like the A and B team. I had my son go to the 2nd team. I just, it made sense for him and there were some other kids that I wanted him to be around and
Okay.
it was all about fundamentals. And it was my obligation that when I was going to be there Tuesday night or Thursday, that was my priority and that you did it. And you can't do it, half in or half out because it's not fair to the kids. And so,
Correct.
and around the state, we do it. I mean, the talent pool in Florida is wild right now. There's been a lot of basketball in the last 3 weeks here, and I'll keep it quick so I know you got something else. But
No, you're good.
there was just 2 high school live periods at Gainesville. There was one actually that ended today. That was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then last week there was one in Gainesville that there was over
Okay.
150 coaches at
I heard about that one.
As far as west as north, as Idaho and as south to like New Mexico. Um, and then there's a couple other events that were put on where 15 or 20 colleges came from the Northeast that came down here to see our kids.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Um, and I was sitting up in Ohio watching JoJo play against JoJo's team playing against Pro One. There was like 3 top 100 players on the court,
Yeah.
and I kind of call him the Godfather. Paul Biancardi came on Sunday to watch, and Paul
Yeah.
Biancardi is kind of like the whatever Kirk Herbstreit of college football.